More now on the findings from the UK Health Agency with Dr. Mohammed Munir. He's a virologist at Lancaster University, and that's where he's joining us from via Skype. Thanks for speaking to us. So in their latest report released earlier today, the UK Health Security Agency is reporting this: Omicron is more contagious, but less severe. That seems to be the takeaway message. Can we be cautiously optimistic? What's your response to the findings?
Yeah, I think the report that we have today from the UK Security Health Agency, I think this is really encouraging. It has two important points. One is that really testifying the observation that we were having that Omicron appeared to be less severe. And that data is the same as we have observed in South Africa, where we have quite a lot of information out there, same as been in Denmark and in Norway. So that is really good news. But a little bit of worrying point is that the report also indicates that the vaccine, particularly the booster, has a very short-lived antibody responses against symptomatic infection, and that appeared to be only 2.5 months. And that is, of course, about the symptomatic infection. It probably would have more protection against the hospitalization, and that is something that we will be looking into a bit more closely.
Yeah, and specifically on that point, that the data suggests that protection against Omicron starts to wane 10 weeks after the booster vaccination. So does that suggest to you then that a fourth jab is going to be forthcoming or imminent?
Well, at the moment, this 15 to 25% reduced efficacy of the booster jab is against the symptomatic infection, which means that the vaccine, particularly the booster one, will certainly provide protection against hospitalization and deaths. So that is, again, just to emphasize that the boosters are really the strongest tool that we have at the moment to curtail this infection. But moving forward, one of the major problems that we have seen in recent time, particularly in the countries where the high level of vaccine coverage has been, is the longevity of the immune responses. The level of antibodies go up very quickly, but then they wane. And as they wane, that means people are likely to be reinfected, and that required boosting. And as you alluded, I think there is very likely that we will be moving into the fourth dose as a booster again. And I mean, many countries, including Israel, they are already considering that.
What do you know about how the data was collated for the study?
I think that is very important, and I am thankful that you brought this one up. The study that has been conducted here in England and in Scotland, that is primarily in a younger population, people less than 40 years old, which means that the COVID-19 has been pretty mild in that age anyways. So I think still need to be watched what will happen if Omicron break into the either the vulnerable groups or elderly people 60 years above, or in children where we don't really know what the pathology and the disease severity of this infection would be. But in all sense, I mean, we have had some infections in South Africa, Norway, and Denmark, where elderly people also have a milder infection. But that doesn't indicate that it is an inert virus. Still have a potential to cause severity of the disease, but the percentage is very low.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed Munir, for speaking to us from Lancaster.
Thanks for having me.